Next one, next part, Jewish eternity Pesach. Even today, 3 pilgrimage festivals bear testimony to divine name of Klal Israel. Even today, these 3 pilgrimage festivals bear testimony to divine nature of Klal Israel. Okay, let's see what he means. On the virtue of annihilation by the magnificent nation on earth, in a blink of an eye, we were recast as eternal people by adhering to God's will, the very will that created the world, ex nihilo, we're going to explain. A group of oppressed slaves were suddenly made masters of the Egyptian tormentors. On Pesach, the festival of the freedom, the holiday of the Jewish immortality, the first phase of the supernatural history began. For the next 40 years, we were sustained by open miracles, by bread falling daily from the heaven, and by well which escort us on earth. Okay, so let's try to understand this paragraph, and I'm going to explain. On the version of annihilation by magnificent nation on earth. So on the version annihilation, meaning what? The Egyptians, their goal was to kill all of the Jews. So they start from the babies, of course, with boys, but it's actually this the labor that they enslave us was to kill people, for sure. Right? In a blink of an eye, we were recast as eternal people. So, and HaShem decides, and when HaShem decides, that salvation comes immediately. And it's one of the things that I always tell people: you must write down, like when salvation comes, when you were waiting for something, right? And then like something comes like immediate, like all of your worries like gone in split second. You have to write down. You have to write down this moment and what you felt before, like 15 minutes before that, 2 hours before that, 7 years before that, and now. So because otherwise you're going to forget, right? But it was like in a split second. By adhering to God's will, the very will that created the world ex nihilo. So, and not all of the people, of course, we know, adhere to God's will. As we know, minimum 80% of the Jews died in Egypt, right? In this plague of the firstborn, plague of the darkness. Plague of the darkness, right? And who did it? It's exactly the same creator of the world, right? Who created the world ex nihilo. So ex nihilo is, as Ramban explains. I'm sure Rambam also, but I'm talking Ramban, Nachmanides. So it's from nothing. So that's, I mean, for us, for physical beings, it's impossible. Even though we can create things, but we take raw material, something existing, and can create from there. But HaShem create this world from nothing, right? A group of oppressed slaves were suddenly made master of the Egyptian tormentors. So now all of the Egyptians come and give us gifts, right? And ask it to go, please leave, please go. What do you need? Animals? Okay, we're going to give us your animal. We're going to give you everything. Just go. On Pesach, the festival of freedom, the holiday of Jewish immortality. So it's very interesting. Pesach is a festival of freedom, right? So we went from that slavery, and our rabbis teach us that on Pesach you have to see like yourself going out of slavery, from your own slavery. Many people put themselves into slavery of their desires, right? Of their bonds. That's also slavery, right? So freedom. When we speak about the nation, so it's the holiday of Jewish immortality. So one of the guarantee that Hashem gives is that Jewish nations are always going to be there, no matter what. Okay. The first phase of this supernatural history began. Okay, meaning when we went out of the Egypt. For the next 40 years, we were sustained by open miracles, by bread falling daily from heaven, and which escorted us on earth. And and HaShem commanded Moshe, was it Aaron or Moshe? I don't remember. To preserve this manna for a future generation. I think it was Navi Haskell that took out this portion of manna. It showed everybody. He said, "Look, why you worried, Jews? Like why you don't keep in Shabbos? Like what's going on with you? Look, Hashem was able to sustain us in desert where nothing is available. So here in the earth, in the land of Israel, of course, He would be able to support us. Don't go against Him, right? And plus the well, of course, this miracle with well, which travel with us everywhere. Continue. The second phrase commenced when we entered Eretz Israel and become life within confines of material world. However, the liberating character inherited in the Pesach burst forth when the thrice yearly we forsook all our worldly possessions with carefree abandon to exult in what should have otherwise been fugitive. No, not fugitive. Fatiguing, worry-filled trek to the holy city. Fatiguing, meaning getting tired. So let's do this part one more time. We're going to explain. Second phrase commences when we enter the Eretz Israel and become life within confines of the material world. So when Yeshua ben Nun took us to the land of Israel, so actually when we were in the desert, we had only a few Pesachs. That's it. I think only two, if I remember correctly. That's it, right? So all other years we didn't have Pesach, and one of the reasons, it's not the main reason, but one of the reasons for that you're not allowed to eat from Korban Pesach if you don't have circumcision. And I think we even said if your son does not have a circumcision, you're also not allowed to. Or even if you slave, Canaanite slave, you does not have a circumcision. I think son was for sure. Slave, I'm not 100%. Maybe yes, maybe no. So as we know, many people in the desert, they were afraid to do circumcision because of this condition. Maybe we have to travel tomorrow, so nobody knew how long we're going to stay in one place. So they were afraid, and many people did not perform circumcision. Levites did, but other people not so much. That's why before entering into the land of Israel, Yeshua was commanded by HaShem to do the circumcision, and now they did with Priya. So circumcision consists of two parts. So first you cut the foreskin, and then the second part you pull back the membrane. Right, you cut the membrane and you pull it back, and Moel does it with his nail, the thumbnail. So if you see Moel, just pay attention. I mean, don't start. Just glance and see his has a long thumbnail for this purpose. Okay. So it's very interesting. So continue. So that's one of the reasons why we did not have Pesach in the desert. It's only one. There are other reasons. Continue. However, the liberating character inherited in Pesach burst forth when thrice yearly we forsook our worldly possessions with a carefully abandoned to exult in what should be otherwise been fatiguing, worry-filled trek to holy city. I mean, before this Beis HaMikdash, we have to understand, the Beis HaMikdash was built, if I remember correctly, 369 years after we entered the land, or after Exodus. I mean, one of the two, I think, like approximate number. So for all of these years, we would go to temporary to Mishkan. Of course, it was Mishkan, and then they made it like more permanent. but still no Beis Hamikdash. Continue. And even today, the uh, emancipatory power of Pesach is as clear as before, if not more so. Despite living surrounded, scattered, and defenseless for 2,000 years under the pressurized influence of the neighbors, who have insanely attempted to destroy us, right? Both physically and by assimilation. We continue not only to maintain our moral independence, but to grow in our study of the God's Torah and mirroring His kindness and in fulfilling His mitzvahs. Even if we maintain the material parity of those around us. Okay, so let's try to understand this last piece. Very powerful. And even today, the emancipatory part of Pesach is as clear as before, if not more so. So, meaning today, like with all of the pressure from society, from peer pressure, from society, it's very easy to become secular and to become like all other nations, other people, right? Despite living surrounded, scattered, and defenseless, right? Surrounded with all of the not such friendly people, to say the least. Scattered and defenseless, so Jewish people live everywhere, very scattered. Defenseless, meaning that everybody against us. For 2,000 years, right? For 2,000 years, under the pressurized influence of neighbors who insanely attempted to destroy us, both physically and by assimilation. So all of these Christians, right? All of the Muslims, all of these communists, all of these socialists, all this list and that list. So they like push us like they have everything to do with the Jews. Like I see on our channel, there's so much hatred. Like I have all of this. Before the class, I was adding keywords to block, right? Because we really need the normal people to see this commentary. It's very interesting, right? And they always like, why you have to be so different? Why you talking about holiness? Who needs holiness? Let's be like everybody else. I will tell them, you be like everybody else, and we be Jews. Like, don't tell us what to do, right? So today they say in a nice form, right? But in the olden days, like until just recently, they were not so nice. That you be like us, or we're going to kill you. Okay. So both physically and by assimilation, we continue not only to maintain our moral independence, right, from them. So you do you, and I'm going to do me. So don't tell me what to do. But to grow in our study in Torah and mirroring His kindness and fulfilling His mitzvahs, right? So, but actually, opposite has occurred in our times, especially with the invention of art scroll. This Rabbi Meir Zlatovitz Zatzal, he was a great genius. I saw his documentary about his life. It's just mind-blowing how it's all started, how it was directed from HaShem, and for many people, all the English-speaking people all over the world, like they started learning Torah because of him, because of one individual. So in some sense, he could be called the Rabbi of this generation. Right, with his art scroll, with his translation of Talmud, all other publications. Now people, Kitzur Shol HaMoed. I mean, we believe most of the books that we use is actually from art scroll publishing. Why? Because it's the topest quality. The research that they did for us, it's simply unbelievable, right? And as all of the people like around us, they degrade. People cannot write. It's unbelievable. They write with so many mistakes, like it's like you have a spell check, like it's like underlined with a red. Just check the spelling. So like unbelievable. In one sentence, 7 mistakes. How is it possible? Possible. So in Jewish people is actually opposite. We started to read more books. It's unbelievable. Because why? Because availability. We started learning more lectures. Right? Continue. In mirroring his kindness, meaning his HaShem kindness, and fulfilling his mitzvahs, even we maintain the material parity to those around us. So I mean, we're okay. We're not on top, but we're okay. We're not less than them, even though we spend our time learning Torah. Continue. We cannot leave our discussion of Pesach without noting divine prohibition, which not only forbids us to eat and enjoy any fermented grain products, Chametz, on Pesach, but even to possess them. Before Yom Tov, we must thoroughly clean and search our dwellings in order to destroy or sell any Chametz we find. In addition, we must either purge all the vessels used in preparation and consumption, or purchase new ones. Unless we actually witnesses the Exodus, it is inconceivable that over the 3,000 years later, we would still be totally involved in a radical bother required to change over our homes and eating habits for 1 week a year in order to avoid all contacts with what is otherwise the most staple food in our diet. Okay, so let's try to explain it. It's unbelievable. Very interesting. He's an amazing writer. We cannot leave our discussion of Pesach without noting divine prohibition, which not only forbids us to eat or enjoy any fermented grain products on Pesach, but even to possess them. So of course he said we have to talk about Chametz. So one of the prohibition on Pesach, the biggest mitzvah, right? The biggest. Not the greatest, but involves a lot of preparation and a lot of care and all of the resources, physical resources and material resources, right? So to get rid of the Chametz, right? Before Yom Tov, we must thoroughly clean and search our dwellings in order to destroy all or sell Chametz we find. So before Pesach, so we started learning laws of Pesach 30 days, like on afternoon on Purim, right? It's 14th of Adar. And Pesach is on 14th, like at night, so it's the 15th, but 14th of Nisan. So we already 30 days before we start learning the laws of Pesach. Because why? Because they're very complicated, very involved, right? And we must clean our house, right? Clean our house, destroy all the Chametz, or sell it. So, but it must be like in order. So you choose. You want to destroy, you destroy. You want to sell it, you sell it. But it must be very clear. So it cannot lie around. So if you decide to sell it, you have to like put in a box or put in a cabinet and close the cabinet, tape it with like painter's tape or something, and leave it and do not open. Okay. In addition, we must either purge all the vessels used in preparation or consumption of the purchase of the new ones. Okay, so and plus we have to change all of the cooking utensils. So cooking utensils, maybe in olden days you have a few pots, few frying pans, and that's it. So today you have food processors. So of course you cannot use your food processor that you use during the year for Pesach. So you have to buy a new one, or maybe a smaller size and this and that, or do without it. So, but all of the utensils must be different. You want a kosher, you can kosher. But today, as we said, it's not custom to kosher, because the things do not cost much. But to bother with kosher is it's a lot. Okay, but it's possible. Okay, so or purchase a new one. Unless we actually witness the Exodus, it is inconceivable that over the 3,000 years later, we still totally involved with a radical bother required to change over the homes. Let's stop here. So unless we had this tradition, like clear, it's not like Baba's Maisa, like from grandmother told you, maybe this, maybe true, maybe not true. No. It's a clear tradition. That's what all of the ancestors were doing for 3,300 years plus. And that's what we're sticking to. That's it. That's our tradition. Right, so until you have like inside of you, that's there is no other way, there is no other choice. Not choice. That's my roots. That's what I'm going to do. That's nobody would do like change the whole house around for 1 week. One week. So like you would close in a cabinets or in the boxes, wherever you close, all of the cooking utensils from regular with a Chametz, right? And you take the new ones, and of course, like we have limited space. So all of the things on a counter or in the boxes. So it's very tight situation. So it's not like you have cabinet, you can put there. It's not. It's a very different environment on Pesach. You understand? So unless you have this tight roots, tradition, so you would not do that. Okay, so we changed our homes, eating habits for 1 week. So it's not like forever, but for 1 week, right? In order to avoid all contact. So with what? Is it not healthy? No, right? With otherwise the most staple food in our diet. So, and we're going to cut contact with the food, with the bread, right? That our sages said, as we learned yesterday, it's the most praised food, right? The most precise blessing. This blessing on Birchas Hamazon would cover all other blessings, and it's the only blessing from the Torah. And you have to go wash your hands. The special blessing, this and that. So. It's very important, and this the most important food. We say, these 7 days. In the exile, 8 days, we're not going to eat. Okay.